She says, that's not the intellectual circle I'm trying to run. This is sometime between like 48 and 50. So around 49 minutes, maybe she said this. And my response to that is, so you mean you prefer like women over 50 because they open their purse for you? I mean, let's not get it twisted. That's what's going on. Alright, around the 50-minute mark, passive-aggressive comments about Blaire being trans. And I'm not the biggest fan of trans, and I'm not the biggest fan of the hair flipping and the jiggling of the, But the fact of the matter is, Blaire and Tree, and if you have such a problem, we know you chose Blaire. Let me just point that out right here, because I don't actually think I have that in my notes. You chose Blaire. I believe Dave Rubin admitted this at some point in the interview. I think it was maybe around, I don't know which mark it was. Dave Rubin says, you sent him a text message. You said to him, I want to do this. I want to debate to, supposedly save my face regarding all of this stuff. I want to tackle this issue. You say to him, I want to do it on your show, and I want to do it with Blaire. So he hesitated, and then he said okay to you or whatever, or he texted Blaire. Blaire said okay right away. So let's not get it twisted. You chose... We know, those of us who are smarter, we know you chose Dave Rubin because he's a pushover. He's like a nice guy, classical liberal. And, you play this like ditzy whatever game, but you know how to play people. You absolutely know how to play people. And some of us know that. You picked out Dave Rubin because you figured he would be a pushover, which... I mean, you were kind of right. You picked him specifically because you figured, you could get away with this with him. And you picked Blaire because, one, you knew ahead of time you were going to attack Blaire for being trans. And, which you did. You spent most of the showdown, as I call it, you spent it trying to discredit Blaire for being trans. Which is a totally leftist move. Basically to say, like, you're a white male, or... Well, yeah, exactly. You're a white male! I mean, that became a meme. That basically, that's what the left does. Tries to say that you can win or not win an argument based on your gender, your color, your sexual orientation, things like that. You basically tried to play that game, but you tried to play that game for the right. And I mean, in theory, we don't do that. I'm disappointed at how much, but you've been lying to your subscribers. I mean, let's not get it twisted. You've been lying to your subscribers and saying that the people who are coming up against you and questioning you and, the smear campaign, which is really people asking questions and wondering why you're so inconsistent and so on and so forth. That is from the right-leaning YouTuber community, and not all of us are gay and trans. Some of us are closer to traditional conservatives. I mean, I'm somewhat of a newer conservative because I'm more focused on immigration and the threat of jihad, which is those are, basically new conservative issues, but I was basically always a conservative, and I'm not, I'm cis, white, straight, female, so you can't slam me as being somebody who's LGBT. You can't, and you basically said people who make a video on you are not real conservatives, but I've basically always been a conservative as long as, my parents weren't, and I remember going to the voting booth with my mom, and she basically said, like, okay, here we vote Democrat for everyone. I was like 8 or 9 years old or something. She shows me like, well, the same guy is voting, running on these two platforms, so we vote for him as a Democrat. And this past Tuesday, I went beep, 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 all the way down. I went Republican. I used to vote more by the candidate, but anyway. But you can't say that I'm not a real conservative. You cannot say that about me. You just can't. I mean, I was already, like, in high school and I was telling my parents, like, I think I might be a Republican. I'm not sure. Like, what? I remember when I first registered to vote, my mother was already, had already passed on. And when I told my father I was registering to vote as a Republican, like, he was pretty upset. He was, I mean, and now he possibly would agree with me. I have no idea because he is also gone, but, I do think that my mother would have definitely voted for Trump in the last election. But anyway, because she voted for Perot back in the 90s. That was the last election before she passed away. So she voted for Perot. So I think people who voted for Perot would be the kind of people who would vote for Trump. And also she refused to vote for Bill Clinton because he gave her the creeps. So if Bill Clinton gave my mom the creeps in the 90s, I can imagine she would not have voted for Hillary. Because by the time Hillary was running for president, she was way creepier than... Creepier things had come out about Hillary already, and my mother said I have no substantial actual things to point to. She said, he just gives me the creeps. I can't vote for him. He just gives me the creeps. So anyway, alright, moving on with my notes. I was at about the 50-minute mark, so passive-aggressive comments about Blaire being trans, and comments like, we don't accept your transition, Candace, because you still act like a leftist. Whereas, even knowing Blaire is trans, I still have trouble thinking of Blaire as a man, and I'm not a fan of the whole trans thing. But, I'm conservatarian, so there's a certain amount of resign there, that if a grown-up wants to make a decision, so I'm conservatarian, which means that I have libertarian leanings. I'm not just straight conservative. So if a grown person wants to make a decision like that, I believe that at some point it becomes none of my business. I'm particularly against, though, the whole pushing trans and pushing LGBT and pushing all this stuff in school, because let's just face it, our schools are like the worst of any developed nation right now, and we're having undeveloped nations even pass us in the schools, and I think that probably wasting all this time on social justice nonsense is probably part of the reason why. But anyway, okay, so she makes the bottom feeder comment again, and I just want to point out that the Saul Alinsky rule number 5 is basically pick on people. I think if you look it up, it's literally like ridicule people because it's infuriating and there's no defense. But it's basically amounts to pick on people. Just pick on people. I think leftists even know that without even knowing the rule, because I find that leftists like to just pick. I can always tell when somebody's a leftist. Andy Worski is not a bottom feeder. Derek, some black guy, was the one who had basically put together the live stream that had 11 people on it, that she hopped on and gave her opinions. I think he has like 300 some thousand subscribers. Andy Worski has like 259,000 subscribers. She didn't block you until after this debate. You blocked her, and you lied about it in the debate and claimed that she blocked you. And she also actually approached you. She said this several times, that she approached you. And you know what? I believe Tree over you, because I've been watching Tree's videos since May, and you just got here. So, yeah, I trust Tree over you. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Alright, who paid me to make videos about you? Just wondering about that. Are you saying that Richard Spencer paid me? Cause I don't have my Richard Spencer check yet. I was just wondering, where's my check for making my? I'm supposed to get a special check for making videos about you. Cause I have no check in the mail yet for this. I didn't get my money for making a video about you. I want my money. Who do I complain to? You said I was a funded misinformation campaign. You said that I was part of a funded misinformation campaign. So funded, I want to know where my money is. Who do I come? I have nobody gave me money to make a video about you. I made a video about you because I saw the video that Tree put up and I felt like it was interesting and I felt like other YouTubers should know. And that's that. So Tree is my favorite YouTuber. I've been watching Tree's videos since May, and I haven't looked back. I happen to like Tree. She's actually my favorite YouTuber. I think I said that. So, and I did my own research before I made my video about you. I'm aware of your little incident in high school, and I don't think that, some nasty phone calls, well, it's, it's unpleasant, yes, but I don't think that gives you the excuse to go around hurting other people, which is what your site would have done. Sorry, not sorry. And one of my video was one of the first ones to come out. So Candace, why do you say your opinions about us, but we can't say our opinions about you? Because that's one of the things that keeps coming up. It's kind of hypocritical. Like, you said Tree was a crackhead, and then you turned around and said, oh, well, that's my opinion. So what if it's my opinion that, you're a fraud, you're a fraud, you're a fraud ass bitch, you're a fraud, you're a fraud. What if that's my opinion? What if it's my opinion that you're a fraud? What if it is?